What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and Ghost of Tsushima has set yet another record. This game continues to do things that we have never seen any other new IP do in PlayStation's history, as Sucker Punch themselves continue to reward fans, announcing surprise bonus multiplayer content that is absolutely free with no microtransactions. But there are still some people, specifically in the media, that do not like this game, and they don't like it because it doesn't represent their culture well enough. They're using their heritage as a crutch, as a shield against all criticism for their criticism of this game. And we're going to talk about that and why, even if they think that, the rest of their culture doesn't agree with them at all. Let's take a look first, though, at this news, at this new record that we have set. And it is more good news. Ghost of Tsushima sets a new record for fastest selling digital game on the PS4. Ghost of Tsushima, one of PS4's two end-of-generation exclusives released this year, proved to be a major success for Sucker Punch and Sony as a whole. The studio, despite no prior experience in the genre, provided a spectacular, matured, and detailed experience for enthusiasts longing for a samurai game since forever. And we did hear a lot of people saying that they wish that Assassin's Creed would have made a game like this for the longest time. But now a lot of people are glad that Ubisoft didn't, and that we got to get it from Sucker Punch, who did an incredible job. The game itself has been doing quite well, opening sales, breaking all of the sales records, especially in Japan, which will be important for what we talk about later, where the story originates. July's numbers made their way on the internet. The newest reports specify the newest IP of the game confirms over 1.9 million units sold digitally in the month of July. So essentially in 13 days, they sold 1.9 million digital copies. Absolutely incredible. Now that 1.9 million breaks Horizon Zero Dawn's previous record for the most digital sales for a new IP, but it took Horizon Zero Dawn 2 months to get there. It took Ghost of Tsushima 2 weeks to get there. Absolutely nuts, because these are just, again, the sales numbers for July that are now coming out. We have no idea what it's been doing in August digitally, and we won't know that for quite some time. I'd hazard a guess, though, that it's doing pretty damn well. 1.9 million, when you put it in perspective, Last of Us 2, a game that had all the hype and absolutely everything, all the marketing from Sony put into it, all the hype coming off The Last of Us, sold 2.8 million copies digitally. That's an insane number. Marvel's Spider-Man, PS4, and Final Fantasy, 2.2 million in their launch months. Right? That's the kind of numbers we're comparing this to. And for a game that didn't have any of the hype, it only got through on this word of mouth of how incredible this game was. 1.9 million copies is an insane number for them to sell. So happy for Ghost of Tsushima. And they do go on to talk about, just recently, folks over at Sucker Punch announced that new update featuring the co-op mode, the multiplayer mode for this game. A completely separate game that is going to be uniquely fit for multiplayer, and also a raid component, completely free, no microtransactions. Incredible. But not everybody's happy. And we could show you that it's the 4th best launch in US history for PlayStation in general, right? We could show you that too. But there's some people that just are really upset about this game. And it's right here. Review. Ghost of Tsushima's empty world reflects its empty representation. From Haru Nicole. Just a little bit about this person. I wanted to learn a little more about the person who wrote this article. BLM in the profile, of course. They, them, they have their pronouns. They, them. Here's a picture of them or they. I don't really know how to use those pronouns, but there you go. This is Haru Nicole. Now, that just keep that in mind when we read this article. Ghost of Tsushima is a game of emptiness. The emptiness of war. The emptiness of a map far too large for its own good. The emptiness of repeated actions that were once interesting but are now tedious. But most importantly, the emptiness of representation of Mongolian and Japanese cultures. The reverence for these cultures only goes skin deep. This is because, although they say otherwise, the developers don't care enough about the culture shown in the game to truly represent them. I would first like to express that I am of Japanese heritage. Guess what? I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care that you're of Japanese heritage, because I have an entire country of Japan that is loving this game. Let's just take a look. Just remind you guys, Ghost of Tsushima is Japan's best-selling PS4 first-party exclusive. This game is being praised by audiences, by consumers. This game is being praised by Japanese critics. It's even being praised by Japanese developers. The developer of Yakuza came out and said, we wish that we could have made this in Japan. This game is incredible, and the reverence they show to our culture is incredible. The Japanese people on the whole love this game. But you saying that you have Japanese heritage don't mean a fucking thing to me, Haru Nicole. Just wanted to get that out there. I can say in this game they don't really care for the Mongolian people. Literally the first word said in the game for the express purpose of dehumanizing Mongolian people. They're called brutal and relentless within the first breaths of the script. What? I don't understand this. We heard this with this argument for the movie 300 not too long ago. People saying that, oh, well, 300, you know, they made the Persians look to be like the invaders, the conquerors. They were brutal. They wanted you to hate them. Yes, this is told from the point of view of the people of Tsushima. Their island is being invaded by Mongols. This is loosely based on history, right? Loosely based on a historical event that they have crafted this fictional game. That is what they're doing right now. If you go and you play a video game and you expect that you're learning history, there's something wrong with you. And if you expect it to be completely historically accurate, if when they tell you otherwise, then that's also a problem with you. The fact that they are depicting the enemy in this game as brutal, as conquerors, as invaders, which the Mongolian people were in history. They did invade. Now, I'm sure they had their own reasons, and if I played a game from the Mongolian point of view, then it would probably be a lot different. You would probably maybe understand where they're coming from, right? That's how these things work. Not everything can just be fucking gray. Not everything can just be some, oh, everyone's really bad in reality. There's no good people. There's no bad people. Most people don't like games like that. Just saying. The first time we see a Mongolian, he's murdering a Japanese man. In one word, this is yikes. But to dig deeper, behind a single word of disgust, the game uses specific concrete and mechanical ways to further dehumanize a real race of people facing real-world prejudices. This game is set in the fucking 1200s. 1272, I think, right around there. Either way, nearly 800 years ago. 700, 800 years ago is when this game is taking place. There's no one that is sitting out there that is holding people accountable for actions that happen in this game in the real world. You are out of your mind. For one, the subtitles never translate the Mongolian. So they said that they took away the Mongolian's voice in this. And then, of course, they talk about their experience and how it's not an accurate Japanese experience for them. They do want to give the game credit. I'm very glad they hired actual Asian actors for this. Most often, productions will get whoever they want to play races or to play roles. Race be damned. And honestly, I'm okay with that. If you think that someone is the best person for the job, then that's fine, especially if it's a voice actor. But no, she gives them credit where credit's due for hiring actual Asian people. Heaven forbid they didn't. Then this article might have been insane. One of the reasons they use is because the game is English. Its primary language is English. And when you switch over to Japanese, the dubs don't match up. Well, you realize that they made the entire game in English. She wanted them to go back and reanimate, so anytime you switched to Japanese, you would need to reload an entire new version of the game where the dubs are all matched up in Japanese. Do you understand how much effort that would take to do that? To have to do that to the entire game? You are absolutely insane. But I guess looking through your Twitter profile, if you guys want to go take a scroll, it shouldn't really be surprising. This person says some of the old stuff that we've seen before, that it's not really an accurate representation of samurai culture, and it inspires Japanese nationalism. How dare they make a game that makes you help identify with the protagonists? How dare that be the case? Because that's exactly what they've done. Sucker Punch has done a great job. And then we get to the real heart of the issue is that Despite the cultural baggage, Ghost of Tsushima is frankly just not that good of a game to play. They don't like the fact that you can't lock onto an opponent because they are probably not very good at video games, just guessing. They think that the map is just too empty, which I would disagree. I think the map is nearly perfect because it gives you this idea of it being very open, right? Very underdeveloped. Yet at the same time, small enough that you can move between places very quickly and you're constantly running into things in between on your way there. I think it's actually done beautifully. But this person says, at the end of the day, the game is also just kind of crap. Upset, right? Upset that they didn't represent a culture that you claim to be from, right? That you claim heritage to. You're upset that they didn't represent you well enough. Well, unfortunately, all the people that are still currently living there, not constantly bitching on Twitter about how hard it is to be Japanese in the Western world, all the people who are actually in Japan, it's been very well received there. So I don't know what to tell you. Maybe your opinion just isn't the one that most people of your heritage have. But I guess that remains to be seen. Either way, I think that the criticisms brought up in her article are absolutely insane, but it fits right in. It makes sense that games journalists would get they, them, whichever to write this article. For some reason, Western critics want to be really offended for the people of Japan, where the people of Japan just want to enjoy this game. But let me know what you guys think about all this. The awesome news that Ghost of Tsushima continues to break records, while people in the West, despite their heritage, are still bitching for the Japanese people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.